Life Hacks Beyond Convention with Dee and Sonia.
Now, so the list.
Yes, yeah. So you read through it. I only really got through it yesterday. I've just been,
I've
yeah,
I've had a couple of looks through it, but I haven't studied it. There
yeah.
is a difference, isn't there? And it
Yes,
looks
there is.
good.
Yeah,
So
I'm impressed.
what did
It's.
you do exactly?
What did I ask Chat GPT?
Yeah. Yeah,
I can't remember.
so you just put into ChatGPT itself.
Yeah, I talked
Mm,
to it and said, have a look at what we're doing, and
yeah.
asked it to review. But yeah, basically suited to mature women
Mm,
outside of fashion and sex.
sex. Yes.
Because when you just go in and put women over 50, you get fashion, makeup, how to dress, blah, a ton of that. And then you seem to get a whole lot of cougar stuff. And we're not talking about pets now. Um, yeah, women that want sex with younger men. And we discussed this last time, like, no.
Mm,
Yeah. So I had to be really clear about
mm,
excluding those. Otherwise, it would just produce heaps of stuff, which you
mm.
and I are not going to talk about.
No,
Not,
no,
yeah. So,
no. So did you actually give it your actual YouTube
yeah, it's had
channel?
a look at
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's
Yep.
had a look at
Yep.
it before. And yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we do cover off on these subjects, personal growth and life experience. We talk about that a lot because we've got a lot of it.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
That's right.
and certainly resilience just because of our life stories, sole parenthood, yeah, education challenges with kids, choosing to homeschool takes a lot of resilience. Yeah. So, and I guess
Yeah.
we're not parking our bums and going, no, I'm retired now, I'm not going to do anything.
Mm,
Like, we don't want to be, yeah, we don't want to stop growing. We don't want to stop doing.
mm,
Yeah, we don't want to stop living.
mm,
So,
mm.
yes.
I actually watched a movie last night and it had
Mm.
Bruce Willis in it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how old he is, but I was looking and I'm thinking, I'm sure that's him doing some of these moves still, not whatever that, not an alternate, how they
Mm.
have stuntmen that do
And
their
stuntmen,
moves.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah, like I don't know how much of it was a stuntman and how much was him, but I'm just watching this movie thinking, man, this was just a really good example of someone that hasn't retired and is still living life. Because
Yes and no.
yeah,
Yeah, he's got some form of dementia.
oh really?
Yeah, it's only fairly recent, I think, that he was diagnosed.
Oh, that's sad. But I was
Yeah.
just looking at the physical ability and
Mm.
whatnot, and I'm thinking, yeah, anyway, I just thought, oh, that was refreshing because so often older men and women in the
Mm.
movies or that sometimes revert to taking on roles of grandma or grandpa
Yes.
or,
Yeah.
very sedentary roles. And I just found that interesting. Anyway, it was like,
Yeah.
and it was a reasonably newish movie. It wasn't like it was a
Yeah.
20-year-old movie.
Yeah. Mm.
And I don't know exactly how old he'd be, but it's not like he's only in his
Yeah.
40s.
No, no, no. It'd have to be in his
Well, I would
50s
have
or
thought he was
possibly
in his
60s.
60s. I would have
I
thought
think
he was
he,
in his 60s, but I don't actually know.
yeah.
I didn't
Yeah, I
look, I
think he
wasn't that
probably is.
interested to look it up or anything. It was just as
Yeah.
we're talking about what we want to do as we get older. I
Mm.
actually, that thought crossed my mind last night when I was watching this
Mm.
movie, just thinking,
Yeah.
wow, um,
Yeah.
we don't
I think
have
he
to
was
limit
filming a
ourselves.
movie. Yeah, I think he was filming a movie when they found out he was unwell.
Okay.
So it may have been that
It might
movie.
have even
Yeah.
been that movie then. Yeah.
Mm. But yeah,
Yeah.
physically, I believe he's still quite well, but his
Yeah.
brain's not working as well as it should.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. But yeah, there's lots of people out there, and we just
Mm,
need to perhaps garner them. And yeah,
mm, mm,
yes.
mm. That's it. It's like we don't, just because you've retired doesn't mean you have to be a shut in and not do
Mm.
things that are
Yeah.
interesting in life and
Yeah.
not actually continue to give to your community and whatnot.
Yeah, I know a number of women on the Gold Coast that have got businesses and are really they're more out there than I am, like, um, yeah, more extroverted than I am and doing different things, and I'm really in awe of some of those.
Mm,
They're in their 70s and stuff
mm,
like that, and then there was, a lady who was, she was a psychic, in the Australia Hall of Fame, and she was in her late 90s, I think, when she passed. And she just kept working. She was still working 2 and 3 days a week
mm,
into her 90s, and why
mm,
the heck not? If you
mm,
can, if you love
mm.
what you do, yeah.
Well, and that was the lady in Sydney who was well and truly into her 90s when she did yet another degree at university.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Mm,
just think so there's no reason to stop if we want to keep
mm.
going. It's like, why not?
Yes. Yeah,
Mm,
and I think that comes down to expectations too. What expectations we've seen our family go through or have been passed down. My father worked into his 70s. He finished work in a technical capacity with Telstra. So he was running an exchange and he came to retirement age and decided to retire. And then he went off and did grape picking. And then he learnt about winding on and all the wine industry. And it was just like, yeah, just kept working.
yeah. Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be work, does it? I mean, if you actually have got enough money and you do not need to work for the finance,
Mm.
there's all sorts of things that you can do to, I don't know, that
Keep
will help
yourself
you learn
interested.
and, yeah, keep yourself
Yeah.
interested, impact the people around you.
Yeah. And there's different clubs that you can be involved in. Like if you keep socially active, through different ways, then yeah, you maintain your mental capacity better as well. So is it
Mm.
seroptimists? Probus is another one. Rotary.
I
If
always
I don't know.
remember my mum going to Probus. She wasn't impressed.
Oh, okay. I don't know what Probus is. We'll have to look that one up.
I think it was to do with people that were in a professional capacity, maybe. Look, I can't
Oh,
quite remember either now. But
yeah.
yeah, I've never looked into it. I just remember my mum just saying, "Oh, well, she tried Probus, but yeah, she wasn't into that. That wasn't what she wanted to do."
Yeah.
Well, it depends what you like doing. This is the thing, isn't it? It
Yes.
it depends the type of activities that you enjoy.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
some
And maybe
people,
that was it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was. It was just
Mm,
like, yeah, I don't want to kind of do that. Just meet
mm.
together, have a chat, do something. Like it's just not doesn't float her boat very much.
Yes. Well, years
Yeah.
ago, you had Rotary if you were still working. I think you could stay in that if you were retired, but you could only be, it was only for men, whereas now that's for
Yeah,
women.
that's the same as
Yeah.
Lions is for women now too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lions. Apex Club.
Yeah, I don't know
That's,
anything about Apex in recent years.
yeah.
Recent
Um,
as in since I was 15.
oh, dear.
Because
Yeah. And is
Apex
it?
were the ones that had the debating um, stuff that I did as a teenager, like debating competitions and whatnot in the
Oh,
schools. So that was good.
okay.
I really enjoyed that. That was through Apex. But the other thing I actually did as a teenager, and that I I saw the Queen's last Christmas speech recently. I rewatched
Mm.
that, or maybe it was her last one 2021 or 20, I think it was about a 2021 speech. Don't quote me on that because I can't quite remember. But one of her last Christmas speeches, and she talked about the Duke of Edinburgh Award. With
Oh, yes.
yeah,
Mm,
and that was something that I did as a teenager too, and that was
mm,
really encouraging when I re-listened to her Christmas message, and right up until Prince Philip passed away, like he was
mm.
still actively involved in that. So, and that was I don't know, that was a really good thing for young people to get involved in. Not
Yes.
everybody
Yeah.
was interested in it, but if you're interested in that sort of thing, it was great because it had
Yeah.
all sorts of different things that they encouraged you. It was like, it was quite a holistic thing. I can't remember all the details now, but
Mm,
I know that we needed to try and be involved in charity as well as, physical
mm.
things and all sorts of,
Yeah.
I had different domains that
So
you could be
rounding
involved
off
in.
the whole person.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just can't remember any details at all. I remember
Yeah.
I did some of my life saving
Mm.
uh, counted towards the Duke of Edinburgh Award, and I don't know,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, all sorts of different
Mm,
things that you could do. But yeah,
mm.
and every now and then, some of the cohorts that would come through, you'd be really lucky because you'd actually have been in Australia to give you your certificate and your medal. Of course,
Wow.
because we're in Australia, you didn't get
Mm.
over heaps often.
Yeah.
But I remember there were some kids that I knew that actually got it from him, and that was a
Yeah.
really
Wow.
great thing too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know whether that's continued on since he
Yeah, I
died.
believe it has. I've heard of it before. So I think I've heard someone at the high school here talk about it. So
Mm,
I think it's still going. Yeah. And I think it's about community service.
yes.
But people, you sometimes meet people and they're really lonely and grumpy, older people I'm talking about.
Mm,
Um, and the thing I notice is if someone's got no friends and and is really hungering for attention, often they don't give. And by giving, I mean they don't go and volunteer, they don't become involved, put themselves out
mm,
into the community and go, can I help with something? Or, yeah.
mm,
Mm.
mm.
And
Can be
so,
overwhelming though if you don't know what you want to help with.
yeah, I imagine it can.
Trying to make
But
those decisions and find the things.
mm, I guess if you've never done anything before and then you're older, it's that much harder to overcome.
Mm,
But often they want from others what they're not prepared to give.
sometimes I would
Yes,
agree.
yeah. I'm not
What,
talking about a large group of people. It's just a small group, and yeah.
what my nana used to say
Hmm.
was, she'd go, "Sweetheart, if they're cranky old ladies, they were cranky young ladies."
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
That's what she
She's
told me because I
probably
always remember
right.
having this conversation with her when she was, because my nana, it was actually my great grandma.
Mm,
She was just always patient and always kind. Like I never heard a crossword. I'm sure she had them, but I never heard a crossword from her or
mm,
anything. And I just see the way she'd listen to people and interact with a lot of people. And
yes,
um, anyway, she was in hospital this time, and the lady in the ward next to her was a really cranky old person. I remember just saying, like, I wonder why that lady's so cranky. Like, it must be because she's in
mm,
pain or trying to make all these excuses for her. And
yeah,
that is just like, well, my experience, darling, is that if she's a cranky older lady, she was probably a cranky younger lady too.
yeah. So it's
And
self-fulfilling, isn't it?
yeah, and
Wow.
that's actually lived with me. Like, because I would have
Mm,
been reasonably young when she said, like between 13 and 15, probably when I had this
mm,
conversation with her, maybe 14. Yeah, I'm not sure
yeah,
exactly how old. I was still very impressionable,
yes,
but old enough to actually understand the concepts. So,
yeah,
and yeah, and ever since then, I watch and I think she's right.
yeah.
All the people I know that were young with me who were cranky are now cranky
Oh,
older people.
yep. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things mum used to say is if someone's rude to you, it's not about you. It's that they might have had a bad day, they might have had a fight with someone, all these other things. So once again, excusing people for their behaviour. But if it's been permanent, then that's really sad because
Mm.
they've never been self-reflective enough to grow from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm,
Exactly. Well, and I'd agree with you,
mm,
Mum, because one of the strategies that I always use when I come into any relationship or conversation is that if they just blow up at me for no obvious reason, it's not about me. You
Yes,
know, just
yes.
take that, and if you can take that as your starting point, that it's something going on in their life. Now, sometimes it actually is about you,
Mm.
occasionally, but most of the time it helps you to stay calm and have more positive interactions so that you can actually find out what is going on. Is it
Yes.
actually about you, or is it that they're having a difficult day?
Yeah, and if you've remained calm and it is about you, you get the opportunity to resolve the issue
Exactly.
or negotiate around the issue. So,
Exactly.
mm,
Mm.
yeah,
But, you know,
yeah.
especially with just casual relationships or customer
Mm.
interactions, like if you're a
Oh,
customer
yes.
service person, can be
Mm,
quite difficult because a lot of people are very nasty.
mm,
But so often it really is something that's going on in their life. Like, I am amazed at the number of times. And if you can
mm,
just be calm as you interact
mm.
with them, then often you find out that, I don't know, their mum
There's,
just passed away last week, or, you know, and
yeah.
so long as you're able to maintain your, like, temper and
Mm,
patience, so often they'll just apologize for their bad behavior as
yes.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. And
And then
sometimes
you
it's
just
just
get
that.
nasty people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's just a kind word, or I love
Mm,
that "Are you okay?" Campaign. I don't know how effective it is, but I imagine in tiny microbes across the country, every so often someone would go, "Oh, you know what? Not, no, I'm not okay," and it
mm.
opens up that thing and having a resilience to ask it, because you have to be resilient to ask that question too.
You do. You do.
Yes, you have to be prepared for the fallout in any direction.
Well, and you have to have confidence in yourself that, no, actually, I haven't done anything to deserve
Mm.
this response.
Yes. Mm.
Because if you doubt yourself, you think, well, what have I done? You know, and
Yes.
that doesn't help you to have patience and kindness then.
Mm.
Mm,
Do you think, I don't know about you, but as a young person and sometimes as an old adult, I have done that from that. I feel like it's a female thing. Yeah, like a man's angry or something, and it's like, well, what have I done? It comes out of wanting to fix it and therefore assuming that it's your responsibility, therefore it's your fault. And I
mm,
know I've done that certainly as a young person. As a
yeah.
teenager, I'd have been a horrible girlfriend. Just annoying more than anything.
Mm,
Yeah. So I don't know whether men do that as much as we do.
mm,
So,
yeah. We
mm,
definitely are different, aren't we, men and women, the
mm.
way we
Yes.
respond to the world around us. Yeah,
Yeah.
on the whole.
Well,
As
there's
a
the base.
generalist conversation, it's
Yes.
like, because there's so many people within that bell curve, isn't there? You know.
Yes. And that's, yeah, there's a degree of hormonal and chromosomal input, but then
Mm,
there's just the cultural input too, which is
mm,
massive. So,
mm.